Hello friends, I am back, and in that last video I was talking about, and actually made that last video last year I think, about this editor called Piskel that I like a lot. It's nice because it lets you export frames together as a spreadsheet. You can see the accounts shutdown thing happening here. I guess Piskel is downsizing. There is an alternative called Pixel Art that does offer accounts, and it's got this nice, a little bit snazzier interface. The only drawback being that it does not allow you to export these as spreadsheets. What's a spreadsheet? A spreadsheet is something that looks like this, where you've got multiple images side by side. They're all kind of packaged together. And I'm going to show you why those are nice in the next video. In this video, I just want to talk a little bit about loading images in P5. So let's do that now. And you can see there's a number of, I made a number of examples on the syllabus, or I've shared a number of examples. There's this walking sprite, there's the dancing alien, there's a bunch of animated sprite things that you can play with. Here's using this p5.play library I'm going to show you in a minute. But a single file to start out with, and then we'll go over this in the next video. So what I'm going to do is make a new file, and I'm going to do this one in the online P5 editor, and then the next one I'm going to do using VS Code. So you get a little bit of each, and you can kind of figure out. You can decide which one you prefer better. So in order to work with images, you're going to have to upload some assets, which means you're going to have to be logged in. I'm logged in right now. If you're not logged in, you just have to make a username and log yourself in. And then you can click this little triangle right here and say upload file, and I can upload this little guy that I just made. Not this guy. This little guy. I just made this on Piskel Art to check it out, and it worked really well, or Pixel Art, I guess it's called. And it worked really nice. So, you know, feel free to use either one. So there's my image. You can see it uploaded. It's 44.7 kilobytes because it's only 64 by, oh, I guess it's 1216 by 1216 in size. But it was originally a 64 by 64 pixel image. So it's super low resolution. And that means it's really small. All right, so I'm going to load this guy in. I called him Doug.png. And in order to show that over here, you can see I've already got my canvas. What I need to do is now, one thing about this P5 language in general is, for whatever reason, the way that they auto-execute these functions doesn't like arrow functions. So you have to write these three functions as old-fashioned function declarations. So function preload, function setup, function draw. Those have to be like that. And this preload function is where we can load assets. So we can do load image. Sorry, my cough. And I'm just going to say Doug.png. So that's this file right here. It's in the same root directory as the file that's looking for it, so I don't have to preface it with like a folder name or anything. So it's just called Doug.png. Now, in order to use this in, say, my draw function, I actually need to declare what's called a global variable. And so I'm going to declare this global variable called img. And then I'm going to store this image in that global variable. So I've got access to this global variable in all three of these functions. And I can modify it in here. And then I can use it in here. And this image function just takes, first of all, an image, and then a position, and then optionally a size. So it's at 0, 0 up here in the right, and the size is 100 by 100. And I'm just going to make this size bigger, and I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to push run again, and there we go. Now it's in the middle, it's big, an image is showing on my screen. I'm super happy. Obviously, to animate this, we would change these values. So if I want to move him across, I'll just set a counter variable. And this counter variable, I'll start it up here at 0. And then I'm gonna increment it by 1, and we'll just say x plus counter. Okay, so now this x value should go up by 1 every time through this draw loop, and this guy should move across the screen to the right. And there we go. So now that's moonwalking across the screen. But you notice it's not really animating in a way that we find terribly satisfying. Like this one here, not that one, not that one. All right, I have to go back to the syllabus. This walking sprite sequence of images that gives this illusion of motion that we find pretty satisfying. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is actually go through this Mario sprite sheet. I've been kind of sort of wanting to do this for a while anyway, so I'm going to do it. In the next video, I'm going to grab like the first few of these, maybe this whole top row, and turn it into an animation like this one. So